Imagine this. Your team scores a last-minute winner. The stadium erupts. You're hugging strangers. Then the referee gets a buzz on his earpiece. He touches his ear, walks to the sideline, looks at a screen, and then he raises his arm. No goal. Offside, but nobody in the stadium has any idea why. Not the players, not the fans, not even the commentators. An invisible robot saw something nobody else saw, and it made a decision in under a second. This is semi-automated offside technology, and it's watching every single game. Semi-automated offside technology. It's a mouthful. But the idea is simple. Instead of a human VAR official drawing lines on a screen and guessing which frame the ball was kicked, a computer does it automatically. 12 cameras track 29 different points on every player's body 50 times per second. The ball has its own sensor sending data 500 times per second. When a pass is played, the computer instantly knows every single body part of every single player. And it calculates offside in real time. No lines, no waiting, just cold, hard math. Let's talk about the cameras. 12 of them are installed under the stadium roof. Not the broadcast cameras you see on TV, these are dedicated tracking cameras positioned specifically to cover every inch of the pitch. They're mounted in pairs along the roof structure, each pair covering a specific zone. Between them, they capture the entire field with 0 blind spots. Every camera captures 50 frames per second. That's 600 frames per second of combined data entering the system. For comparison, your phone records 30. This thing sees time in slow motion. Here's where it gets creepy. The system doesn't just see a player. It sees a skeleton. When the cameras capture footage, an AI model identifies each player and maps 29 specific joint points onto their body. Shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, elbows, wrists, every major joint gets a coordinate. This is called skeleton tracking. And it happens for all 22 players simultaneously, 50 times per second. The result is a real-time 3D skeleton of every person on the pitch. The system doesn't need to see a shirt number or a face. It just needs bones. Not all body parts count for offside. This is critical. The rules say a player is offside if any part of their head, body, or feet is beyond the second-last defender. Arms don't count. The system needs to know the difference between a shoulder and an elbow, between a hip and a hand. The AI has been trained on millions of frames to recognize exactly which limbs can score a goal and which can't. When it draws the offside line, it's only measuring the parts that matter. The computer literally knows your anatomy better than you do. The players aren't the only thing being tracked. The ball is too. And this isn't just any ball. The 2026 World Cup ball contains a suspension sensor and inertial measurement unit that sits perfectly in the center of the ball. It sends position data 500 times per second. That's 10 times faster than the cameras. Why does this matter? Because the exact moment the ball is kicked determines the offside frame. A single frame too early or too late changes the offside call. The ball's internal sensor removes all doubt about when the pass was made. Now imagine the data. 12 cameras sending 50 frames per second each. The ball sending 500 signals per second. 22 players with 29 skeleton points each. That's roughly 6.5 gigabytes of data per minute of play. All of it needs to be processed, synchronized, and turned into a decision in under a second. The system uses local processing servers inside the stadium. Nothing goes to the cloud. Latency would kill the whole concept. The data travels through fiber optic cables installed specifically for the system. The entire decision happens on-site in milliseconds. So the system has made its calculation. Now what? It sends a notification to the VAR room. The VAR official sees a 3D animation of the play, not just the camera footage, but a computer-generated reconstruction showing the exact moment of the kick, the skeleton positions, and the offside line. The official reviews it. If the data is clean, they confirm the decision. The on-field referee gets a buzz, and a 2D animation is generated for the stadium screens and TV broadcast so everyone can see what the robot saw. Total time from kick to decision, around 20 seconds. Speed is the whole point. Before SAOT, a VAR offside check took an average of 70 seconds. Players stood around. Fans waited. The energy of the goal was dead by the time the decision came. With SAOT, the average check takes 20 to 25 seconds. The system detects the offside in near 0.5 seconds. The VAR confirmation takes another 10. The animation generation takes 5. And the referee makes the call. The goal celebration is interrupted, yes, but the wait is short enough that the emotion doesn't fully die. FIFA claims this is the fastest offside system ever deployed at a World Cup. So, does it actually work? FIFA tested SAOT at the 2023 Club World Cup and the 2024 Arab Cup before rolling it out for 2026. The numbers are impressive. SAOT correctly identifies offside positions 99.3% of the time. Human assistant referees, by comparison, get it right about 94% of the time. That 5% gap represents roughly one incorrect offside call every 2 matches. Over a 104 match World Cup, that's over 50 wrong calls that SAOT can eliminate. The system also reduces check time by 70% compared to manual VAR. The robot is faster and more accurate. But the robot isn't perfect. And when it gets it wrong, the controversy is louder because the system is supposed to be infallible. At the 2023 Club World Cup, a goal was disallowed because the system detected a player's armpit was offside. The armpit, a part of the body that literally cannot score a goal. At the 2024 Arab Cup, the system failed to detect a defender's foot that was clearly playing the attacker onside. Fans erupted. Players demanded explanations. The robot made a mistake, and because it's a computer, nobody could argue with it. The referee couldn't say I saw it differently. The computer said no. So why does a 99.3% accurate system fail? 3 reasons. First, occlusion when players block each other. The cameras can't see all 29 skeleton points, and the AI has to guess where the hidden joints are. Second, frame rate limitations even at 50 FPS. The ball travels nearly a meter between frames at high speed. The exact kick moment is an estimate, not a fact. Third, the offside rule itself is subjective. What counts as actively interfering with play is a human judgment. The system can tell you a player is offside. It can't tell you if they're involved in the play. The robot is faster and more precise at measuring positions, but humans still win in 3 areas. 1. Context. A human linesman knows when a player is deliberately offside versus being forced there by the ball. 2. Delay signals. Experienced referees sometimes hold their flag to see if the offside player actually touches the ball. A robot doesn't wait. 3. Game management. A smart referee might let a marginal offside go in the 90th minute of a 0-0 game because calling it changes nothing. The system calls everything the same way every time. Robots have no feel for the game. To understand why SAOT exists, you need to understand the old system. Before 2022, VAR officials manually drew lines on broadcast footage. They had to guess which frame was the moment of the kick. They had to manually align a line with the second last defender. They had to zoom in and hope the camera angle wasn't skewed. The process took over a minute. And it was still wrong sometimes because the camera frame rate meant the ball could have traveled half a meter between frames. The manual system was slow, clunky, and controversial. SAOT was built to fix all of that. What do the actual players think? It's complicated. Most strikers hate it. Goals get disallowed for armpits and toenails, parts of their body they didn't even know were being measured. Defenders generally like it because it catches attackers they couldn't see. Midfielders are split, they want fair calls but hate the celebration interruptions. The general consensus among players is this. They prefer accuracy over speed. They'd rather wait 30 seconds and get the call right than rush. and lose a goal. But they also want the system to show some common sense. Unfortunately, robots don't have any. SAOT is just the beginning. FIFA is already testing automated foul detection using the same skeleton tracking to identify tackles, pushes, and simulation. Imagine a system that automatically flags a high foot challenge the moment it happens. Red card decisions could be assisted by AI within 5 years. There's even talk of a fully automated referee system by 2034. Not replacing humans entirely, but reducing their role to game management while the computer makes all factual decisions. Offside, handball, goal line, any objective call could be handled instantly by the system. The referee just manages the flow. SAOT isn't just changing how offside is called, it's changing how teams play. Defensive lines are getting bolder because they know the millimeter precision system will catch attackers. Strikers are learning to time their runs more carefully, knowing a single centimeter can cancel a goal. Some coaches are even training their attackers to keep their arms down during runs because the system measures everything. The game is becoming more precise. The margin for error has shrunk from clearly offside to your shoulder was 3 cm too far forward. Football has entered the age of millimeter accuracy. So here's where we are. A robot with 12 cameras and 29 skeleton points watches every single moment of every single match. It calculates offside in milliseconds with 99.3% accuracy. It sees things humans can't see. But it also doesn't understand context, intent, or the spirit of the game. The technology is incredible. But football is still a human sport played by humans for humans. The robot helps. It doesn't replace. The question we should be asking isn't does the robot get it right? It's how much accuracy are we willing to trade for the soul of the game? Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to understand the World Cup before it starts.